Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're opening up the lid on a product that's thousands of years old, something found in nearly every pantry. Yet its modern production involves, well, a surprising mix of natural magic and pretty precise engineering, honey.
It really is a fascinating duality, isn't it? You shared sources detailing the whole journey, starting the moment the bee visits the flower,
Right.
all the way through to the final quality checks before it even gets bottled.
That's right. So our mission today is to kind of take a full factory tour, asking the big question, how does simple, watery flower nectar transform into this delicious, stable, standardized product we buy?
Yeah.
It's where that ancient biological alchemy meets modern, high-speed manufacturing.
Let's jump right in then, because the foundation, the absolute bedrock of all honey production, is entirely natural.
Absolutely. And the first stage happens completely outside any factory walls. It starts with the bee.
The bee, yeah.
And it's critical to remember the bee isn't just like a collector, it's a tiny chemist. Our sources highlight how the bee collects the flower nectar and immediately starts transforming it, mixing it with specific enzymes right there inside its honey stomach.
That enzyme mixture is the critical step. Once the bee deposits that liquid into the honeycomb cells, those enzymes, things like invertase, they begin breaking down complex sugars, sucrose.
Into simpler ones.
Exactly, fructose and glucose. And the bees also fan the cells, like really aggressively.
Dry it out?
Yeah, to reduce the moisture content. It starts around 80% in the nectar, and they get it down to about 17, 18%.
Wow. And what's fascinating is that this initial, totally biological step, it dictates everything that follows, right? Like the flavor, the shelf life.
Everything.
If the quality isn't built in right there in the hive, no factory process can really salvage it. That high quality, low moisture foundation is essential.
Precisely. That initial moisture level is paramount.
Yeah.
Anything above, say, 18, 20% moisture, it's just highly susceptible to fermentation, spoilage. So the bees, they really set the standard for stability right from the start.
Okay, so the bees have done their part. They've capped the cells with wax. The honey's chemically stable. Now technology steps in. Transitioning from hive to factory, this is where we separate that liquid gold from the wax comb.
Right, the extraction phase.
Yeah.
And you have to efficiently separate that precious liquid from the wax combs without causing damage.
Right, because didn't it used to be kind of messy?
Oh, yeah. Traditionally, it was messy and it often destroyed the comb's structure, which meant the bees had to rebuild it all from scratch. Very inefficient.
But the modern solution is all about high-tech efficiency. The core technique highlighted in the sources is using these powerful centrifugal devices.
Yeah.
Spinners, basically.
Yeah, extractors.
How does this technology handle something so delicate but also so viscous?
Oh, it's pretty ingenious, actually. The honeycombs, still in their frames, are placed inside a large spinner radially.
Okay.
And the extractor uses rapid high-speed rotation. It harnesses centrifugal force to essentially, well, throw the honey out of the open cells.
Throws it out.
Yeah. And the key benefit is preservation. Because the force pushes the honey out, the delicate wax structure stays intact.
Ah, so you can reuse the comb.
Exactly. Those frames go right back to the hive. The bees can immediately start refilling them. It dramatically increases efficiency and minimizes the energy cost for the colony.
That level of industrial separation sounds incredible, but once that raw honey is spun out, it's not ready for the jar yet, is it?
No, not at all. It's still raw, full of tiny bits of wax, maybe some hive debris, air bubbles from the spinning.
Right.
This is where the purification pass begins.
Okay, purification.
Yes. And the next major stages are about refinement and safety, but they're also maybe the most technically fraught. You have to strip away the debris while meticulously preserving the honey's natural quality.
Okay, so let's look at the first refinement step, filtration. What are the stages there? How do they clean it up?
Well, the initial stage is usually coarse filtration. That gets rid of the obvious stuff, big chunks of wax, any bits of bees or wood.
Visible things.
Right. But modern facilities often use more stages after that,
Yeah.
sometimes leading to what's called ultrafiltration.
Now, ultrafiltration, that sounds intense, and that's where things get a bit controversial in the honey world, isn't it?
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
while it gives you that crystal clear, really brilliant looking product that many consumers associate with purity,
Yeah, that super clear stuff.
ultrafiltration also removes valuable components, specifically pollen grains.
Pollen. Why does that matter?
Well, for some consumers, and definitely for regulatory bodies, the pollen is often the only way to scientifically confirm the honey's geographical origin, its floral source, its authenticity.
Oh, I see. So by making it perfectly clear, you might actually erase the honey's natural fingerprint, making it harder to trace or prove it's really, say, clover honey from a specific region.
Exactly right. It creates a tension between, aesthetic purity and natural integrity.
Hmm.
It highlights a choice manufacturers have to make. Do you prioritize that consumer desire for maximum clarity and slow crystallization? Or do you prioritize preserving every single element of the natural product?
That's a really good way to put it. Okay, now another high-stakes technical bit, temperature control. We hear about heat processing for food all the time, but with honey, that temperature needs, like, extreme caution. Why is it so vital?
It is probably the single biggest threat to quality. If you heat honey too high or for too long, you permanently degrade its beneficial properties. You fundamentally change its chemistry.
Okay.
The sources really stress that processing heat has to be meticulously controlled. Most facilities, they try to keep the temperature below about 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 Celsius.
Why that number specifically, 104?
Because that mirrors the maximum temperature you typically find inside a healthy, active beehive. It's sort of the natural limit.
And what happens if they go over that even just a little bit?
Two crucial things happen. First, you destroy beneficial enzymes. Diastase is a key one. They're markers of raw, natural honey quality.
Okay, so you lose some of the good stuff.
Right. Second, and this is critical, you rapidly accelerate the formation of something called hydroxymethylfurfural, or HMF.
HMF. That sounds chemical, not something you want.
Well, it is a naturally occurring compound formed slowly over time anyway. But high levels of HMF are the chemical red flag. They indicate that the honey has been overheated or maybe stored improperly for way too long.
Ah, so it's like a damage indicator.
Precisely. Modern quality control absolutely depends on measuring HMF levels. Low HMF confirms quality, freshness. High HMF basically confirms abuse during processing or storage.
Got it.
This technical step is essential to make sure the honey's natural texture and taste are preserved as much as possible.
Okay, so we've collected it, spun it out, carefully filtered it, maybe ultra-filtered, maybe not, and warmed it just enough to make it flow without chemically messing it up. What's the final gatekeeper before bottling?
That would be the mandatory final lab checks. Rigorous inspection and analysis.
More checks. What are they looking for now?
Well, it goes beyond just checking for, say, illegal additives. They're rechecking things like specific gravity, the moisture content again, making absolutely sure the honey won't ferment later in the jar.
Ah, okay. Stability again.
Right. This step guarantees the product's purity, ensures it's free from any unauthorized stuff or any quality issues caused by the processing itself. The goal is standardization.
Standardization, making sure the consumer gets the same safe, stable product every single time.
Exactly.
That standardization makes sense from a commercial point of view. But the exciting part, I think, is that even after all that high-tech intervention, not all honey is the same. Not by a long shot.
Oh, definitely not.
I love that our sources move beyond just the mechanics to talk about the incredible diversity of the finished products, like wine, right? The terroir. Honey's whole personality comes from the flower source.
Indeed. The specific flower source is absolutely everything. The document you shared listed several really distinct types of honey, each offering a completely different experience.
Yeah, like mountain honey. That often suggests a darker, maybe more rugged flavor from unique high-altitude flowers.
That's often the case.
Yeah.
Then you have the general floral honey, which is usually lighter, maybe sweeter, depends on the mix of blossoms the bees visited. Can be quite complex, too.
Then you get into the really specialized ones, like eucalyptus honey or camphor honey.
Right. And because of the compounds in the eucalyptus nectar itself, that honey will have a very distinct, almost mentholated or medicinal note. It's not just sweet. It's got this other layer. It's quite complex.
Definitely sounds unique. And then there's the really highly prized cedar honey. What's the story there? What makes that one so special?
Ah, cedar honey. It's famous, especially across the Middle East, known for its rich, dark color and its incredibly thick, almost chewy consistency. Almost, yeah. It comes from the nectar of the cedar tree, which grows mainly in desert climates. The flavor is intense, really rich, and because the source, the cedar tree blooms, are limited and seasonal, it often commands a very, very high price. The difference between, say, a light floral honey and a deep cedar honey is just staggering, and that difference is determined entirely by the bee's original choice of flower.
So even if the technology in the factory is identical, same spinners, same temperature controls the ultimate difference in flavor, color, texture, it comes right back to that very first step. The specific flower the bee visited It links the sophistication of the final product right back to that initial natural alchemy.
Precisely. The industrial process ensures standardization, safety, consistency.
Yeah.
But the terroir, that combination of soil, climate, floral source, that's what creates those remarkable, distinct flavor profiles.
This whole journey then brings us to the very last stage, the final presentation. Getting the product actually into the hands of the consumer.
Yeah, the packaging. And that process also has to meet the highest quality standards. It involves putting the purified, analyzed honey into either glass or plastic containers.
Glass or plastic, okay.
And it's often done pretty rapidly, actually, to avoid crystallization happening during storage before it's sealed. It's the final step in sealing that promise of purity.
So if we just sort of recap this whole deep dive, we've gone from simple nectar collected by a single bee through complex tech like centrifugal extraction, navigated these really rigorous purification steps, including that HMF analysis, and ended up with a standardized but also incredibly diverse and flavorful product.
It's a comprehensive process. It really is a remarkable testament to how manufacturers balance the delicate needs of a natural product with the efficiency and safety demands of modern global commerce.
Absolutely remarkable. And since we've now kind of toured the factory in our minds, understanding all the technical stages, the standardization, filtration, the careful heating, all the things that guarantee quality, I want to leave you, the listener, with a question to think about.
We've seen the rigorous efforts to standardize honey, right, to make it perfectly clear, slow to crystallize. But we also know that the starting point is untouched nature.
So, do you prefer the natural raw honey, the kind that might be less processed, maybe still has pollen, higher enzyme levels, but it might crystallize faster, look cloudy? Or do you lean towards the highly industrially standardized honey, the product optimized for that perfect clarity and long shelf stability?
Knowing that standardization requires that careful heating and filtration. And understanding the trade-off, potentially losing some of those natural markers like pollen.
Which path to sweetness do you prefer now, knowing the whole process?
Understanding those chemical indicators like HMF and the whole debate over filtration, it should give you a new appreciation for that simple jar on your shelf. It's really a choice between maybe nature's wildness and engineering perfection.
We certainly hope this deep dive into the surprisingly complex world of honey production gave you some fresh insights. Thank you for sharing your sources and letting us explore this high-tech nature with you. Keep exploring those fascinating manufacturing and food processes.